Well then people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show, and it is time for some more Euro 2020 content. This time it is Group F, the group of death. Poor Hungary, man. I feel for them. Before we do get into the teams that are going to feature in this group, of course, smash a like on the stream, like the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments, your notification bell smashed as well, because tomorrow at 7 p.m. we will have a live stream where we look ahead to the Euros, making all our picks, so you don't want to miss that. So make sure you get your notification bell smashed. Subscribe as well, guys. We are almost on that road to 4K. It'd be absolutely amazing. But let's get into the group of death, which of course includes Germany, France, Portugal, and poor Hungary. So guys, we are going to start with the Hungarians. It really is David versus Goliath. Not even Goliath. David versus Goliaths for this Hungarian side. It's going to be a tough ask for them to get any points on the board, isn't it? Of course, they have star Dominic Szoboszlai, or Szoboszlai. I've been trying to work on my pronunciation, putting it into Google Translate. But yeah, Dominic Szoboszlai. Of course, he's a star within this side. But look, they're up against holders Portugal. They've got world champions France, and of course joint record holders for the most European championships in Germany. You couldn't ask for a more bigger feat, really, could you, for this Hungarian side? I don't know a lot about them. I think they'll struggle to get a point. But the one thing is, guys, as I said, they've had positive results in qualifying against teams like Wales, Croatia, which is decent. Obviously, France, Germany, and Portugal is a totally different kettle of fish. But they do have some home games. Two of their games are at home during the group stage, so that might swing the imbalance in their favour. You never know how much a raucous home crowd could do, especially if it was tight and they were able to nick one from a set piece, maybe. So it'll be interesting to see how Hungary go on. But it is really David versus Goliaths in this Group F, the group of death. And there is that Hungarian side for your viewing pleasure. Now, let's get into the Germans. So, guys, it is the final swan song for Joachim Löw for the Germans, of course. Look, they're not in great form. Like, Joachim Löw has obviously come to the end of his tenure as Germany coach after some great successes, but obviously derailed in the last World Cup in 2018, and they've not really recovered since. Obviously, Germany just won 3 out of a potential 8 fixtures during 2020. Obviously, they were smashed 6-0 by Spain, lost to Jani Alioski's North Macedonia 2-1. Confidence isn't sky high with the Germans or German fans, which is so unlike them. You know, a recent poll was done on Big Magazine Kicker, and over 90% of Germans can't see them getting past the last 8. They might not even get through the group stage. Of course, they have an abundance of talent. It goes without saying. But there is issues with regards to no tactical plan B. There's issues defensively, lack of collective coordination, poor body language. Obviously, Joachim Löw coming to the end of his tenure as well. Maybe they give him one final swan song, but it's going to be a tough task in this group, you know, for the Germans. Of course, as always with the Germans, they've recalled Thomas Muller. He's experienced on this stage. They have Serge Gnabry, Leroy Sané, Toni Kroos, Ilkay Gundogan, Goretzka, Kimmich, who, you know, he's a stalwart of German football for years to come. That goes without saying. Rudiger's had a good season. Emre Can, you know, they've got a lot of top-level operators. Manuel Neuer, one of the best goalkeepers in world football. So, of course, they can do it. Of course, they can do it. But obviously, with it being the end of Joachim Löw's return, I have to wait and see what happens with the Germans. How do you see this group? It really is a tough one to call, isn't it? I want to know in the comments, guys, who you see going through in this group. We're now going to move nicely on to, of course, the holders of this tournament. Portugal. So yeah, the reigning champions hoping for a repeat success. Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal. And this is the thing, it's not just Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal anymore. He's got an amazing supporting cast, an amazing squad of players to go alongside him. You could argue man for man, this Portugal side is better than it was when they last won the Euros, their inaugural tournament in France 5 years ago. You know, I think the troubling thing for manager Santos is how to get the best out of all this talent. I mean, you've got Cristiano Ronaldo, Joao Felix, Bernardo Silva, Diego Jota, and of course Bruno Fernandes. They're all plying their trade at Europe's top clubs, you know. Santos sometimes likes to play a more conservative style of play. He has taken batterings in Portugal media because he doesn't let the handbrake off enough. And you can understand that as a fan watching it, but his record speaks for itself. You know, 4 defeats in 56 competitive games for Santos and this Portuguese side, you know, 2 trophies in the cabinet. You can't blame him for wanting to stick to his principles, you know. But I suppose, you know, there's still a lot of optimism in the Portuguese camp over this group of death. And I can see why. I fancy them to get through, guys. I think it'll be France and Portugal. Personally, I want to know in the comments who you see getting through. But they've had such a... I mean, Portugal's of old, like decades ago, you got no chance. But this side is absolutely phenomenal. And let's not forget, Cristiano Ronaldo's, you know, ambition just never wavers. He's one of the greatest ever. You know, might not be the greatest, you know, Messi, depends where your lands lies, but ultimately he's one of the greatest players ever. And, you know, if he wins one single game in this tournament, he surpasses Cesc Fabregas and Andreas Iniesta for the most wins as an individual player on a side. He needs one more goal to overtake France legend Michel Platini for most goals in this competition. You know he's going to do it. You know this is his stage. He'll love it. And like we say, around him, he's got the likes of Joao Felix, Bernardo Silva, Jota, who's had an amazing season, Bruno Fernandes. You know, this Portugal side will do bits for me. And they could, look, it's going to be tough for them to repeat the success. And they have to come through arguably one of the toughest groups the Euros has ever seen. But I fancy them to do it. Let me know what your thoughts are on Portugal. You know, let's not forget as well, and just Ruben Dias at the back, you know, alongside experienced Pepe. I mean, Ruben Dias has won the Player of the Year in the Premier League. He's been an absolute revelation. I still can't believe he's as old as he is. What, 24-year-old? It's absolute insanity what that guy's doing. And last but certainly not least, it is, of course, France, arguably everyone's favourites. I think there was a period of time where they were joint favourites alongside England. And when you compare this France side to this English side, it's like, it's laughable. It is. I'm not going to lie. Like, we have a great side with a lot of young talent, but this France team is just levels, man. It's levels. It's the fact that they can say to Laporte, which I think is huge. You know, someone like Laporte would walk into this England side, you know, when we're playing people like Mings, no disrespect, and they can say to Laporte, get yourself off to Spain. You know, it's arguably the same team that won the World Cup in 2018, so that's still winning mentalities there. Didier Deschamps in charge, you know, and rightly so, they're up there as favourites. It's going to be some glorious games within this group. France versus Portugal, a repeat of obviously the Euros last time, France-Germany. It's just going to be mouth-watering for us football fans. I mean, the team, Giroud, Griezmann, Rabiot, Mbappe, Kante, Pogba, Varane, Kimpembe, Pavard, Lucas Hernandez, you know, and Ndombele. There's just an absolute plethora of talent at this France side. They are going to be so hard to beat. But you know what? I think Portugal might top the group. If I'm being honest, but we'll have to wait and see. But this France side's going to do bits in it. You know, like when I was saying about joint favourites, can you imagine us playing France? No, I'm not about that life. I'm not about that life. They're just so good. So good. I still fancy Italy as my outside pick. But remember, guys, we've got a live stream tomorrow where we can talk about all this stuff with the Before the Whistle Blows crew. Make sure you join us. I hope you've liked these. I know they've been very short, snappy, concise, and I hope those that have watched it through have enjoyed them. Thank you for staying along for the ride when doing so. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you join me tomorrow for the live stream as well. That'd be great if you could do that. I'll see you tomorrow for the Daily Leeds and, of course, 7 p.m. for the live stream. Thank you, as always. Have a great day. Peace out. Leeds.